Let's see, where should I click this? Or I leave it open and I click it here. Perhaps that's the move. It's so very awkward. Right. That's better. I don't know why I'm British suddenly. Okay. Hello and welcome to this video. Welcome to my channel. It has been a while and I kept thinking, how do I come back? I unintentionally stopped recording, and then I recorded a couple of vlogs, which one of them I'm in the middle of. I'm almost done with it. But I was like, it's gonna feel so awkward just like coming out of the silence and just like, oh, hey, it's a week of my life in vlogs. So I decided that I wanted to do the mid-year wrap up anyway, so I figured I'm gonna post this first. Hopefully I can edit it and get it online. Check in with you guys about the books I've been reading this year. I stopped posting in like May. It's because my life just got super insanely busy. But I also have not been doing like reading wrap-ups at all. Oh, look at that girl. Long story short, I am here to talk about, I'm here to do the mid-year freak out tag. I'll talk about some of the books that I've read this year that are standouts in whatever way, and then also talk about books I want to read before the end of the year, and I'm hoping to get back on track with like monthly wrap-ups from this point forward. Not anticipating another disappearance. Probably less videos, like I might some months have to post less because work is starting up again in the next couple weeks, and like I'm gonna be super busy, but hopefully I'm back for real, and I'm here to talk to you about some books. Some of them are on here. I made a whole list, but my notes are really like mixed up, so with the questions and then also my responses that I've written down. Yeah, welcome to this video. Welcome to my channel. My name is Zahra, and I'm here to do the mid-year freak out tag after a long time away. It feels like a very long time. I think it's been like 3 months. Anyway, first question is the best book I've read so far this year. Hands down, I have to say Innamorata by évഇᴇ. évഇᴇ is one of my favorite authors ever. She just released Innamorata earlier this year, and the crazy thing is it was on my radar, but I didn't really know much about it, and I didn't know it was released. I actually found out that it was out because I went to the bookstore with my friends, and then I saw that it was on the shelf. I don't own the copy yet because I don't like the cover at all. I think it's an ugly cover for such a good book. Basically, it follows our main character, Agnes, with her sister, Marozia. Their grandmother has just passed away. In this world, their specific version of magic, which I think is like very much like necromancy, has been outlawed. I think most types of magic have been outlawed. Before her grandmother dies, her grandmother tasks her with bringing her back to life if/when she dies. What ends up happening is there is an alliance between, sorry, if I keep looking over that way, it's because of my cat. I'm trying to see what she's trying to do. She's trying to like sleep or something. Now she's looking at me because I'm looking at her. Agnes is very much the grandmother's favorite in the sense of like she takes orders from her and like is basically like her apprentice almost. Whereas Marozia is like just pretty, and they literally talk about how like they're just planning to use her for marriage to another house to like get themselves stronger. Marozia and Agnes basically go to, I think it's not the House of Blood. It's like the Conqueror's house / I hope I'm not butchering this explanation. And arrange a marriage, and Agnes actually is the one that arranges the marriage between Marozia, her cousin, and Liuprand, I think his name is, the son of the current king. It's very dark. It's like super gothic, insanely dark. I mean, like I knew it was dark going into it, but I didn't know how dark. But I realized very quickly that I like books like that. Like I like books that like really get like gruesome and weird and whatever. And I also love books with like yearning, but like a very specific type of like I don't know, it's also very much tragedy. It feels like if you've read Lady Macbeth by évഇᴇ, it kind of feels like that, but it goes like even darker. There's another book coming out, but I don't know when the release date is, the second book in the series. Anyways, it's very much tragedy, gothic, dark, all the trigger warnings possible. I didn't go into them beforehand because I didn't really think I needed them. And for me, it was fine. But like, I read a lot of crazy things. Like, would I say it's darker than Game of Thrones? I don't know. But I really, really, really loved it. So that's my favorite book of the year so far. I have a bunch of books lined up and I'll talk about some of them. I don't think that I will get another book. Like, my prediction for the rest of this year is that Innamorata will stay at the top. I don't think I'll read another book that I like as much of it as it, but I am going to talk about a couple other books later on that I found as a result of reading that one. Like, some people were like, recommending them in like some forums, and when I googled like, okay, I want to find like more dark gothic literature like this one, I did find a couple, so I'll talk about this as well. So that's Innamorata, best book of the year so far. I think you have to have a very specific taste in books to enjoy it. I don't think it's for everyone at all, not even remotely, but if you like dark gothic, like intense tragedy, like books, tragic books, this one is going to hit. Second question is, what's the best sequel you've read so far this year? I didn't think I'd read any sequels, and I guess this could be like an unofficial sequel, but I'm gonna say And Now Back to You by 빚ᴇᴇᴜ. I don't know if you can see this. I have a little stack that's like slowly growing of books that I own that I've read. I don't know where I got this idea, but I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just like across my counter stack my books. It's not that many. I haven't read that much this year. I'll just put the picture here because that's easier. This is the second book in like same world series. I think it's more of a series where it's like it follows different characters in every book, but like you recognize the different characters from the previous books. And this one follows Delilah and what was the main character's name? What was the guy's name? Crazy that I don't remember his name. Anyways, it follows two characters, Delilah and the guy. I don't even care about leaving him nameless. They're two weather people and they're kind of competing because they each have their own like weather show and whatever, but then there ends up being like a collaboration and they have to go report on a very specific like storm. At the same time, Delilah's workplace is kind of like her boss is out to get her, and that kind of plays into it. I really liked it. I liked it better than First Time Caller even. Could be because I read it in like 2-3 days on a trip to Boston, and I listened to First Time Caller on a drive to Dallas. So there is a little bit of a difference between the experience of reading, but I really liked And Now Back to You. I liked it more than the first book. And I just thought that the chemistry between the characters was so cute. And I really just loved the weather, like the atmosphere. Thinking back on it, I think it would be such a good like snowy weather read. I read it when it was cold out because when I went, yeah, it was like Boston in April. So it was chilly out. That is the best sequel I've read so far this year. When I was going back through all the books that I've read so far this year, I don't think I've really gotten into any series. I mean, I guess I've read first books of series because like Innamorata does have a sequel coming up. And so do a couple of the other books. But yeah, I haven't really read many like second books in a series. The third question is a new release that's on my TBR that I have yet to get to, Into the Blue by Emma Brody. That came out April 7th. I don't know, I can't really tell you much about it because like the thing about me, and this is maybe going to be annoying a little bit to some people, but the thing about me is like for most of the books that I read, I don't want to know the premise. Like it's not that knowing the premise will stop me from reading it, but I'd rather not know. So like I don't seek out too much information other than like genre. I just know that this is a romance. I have yet to read a romance in the summertime. I don't know why I've been in such a like fantasy mood this summer, but I just got out from the library and so I'm planning to get to it soon. It sounds well, I can't really say it sounds anything, but from what I've heard from people who've read it, people like it. So don't know anything else about that book. Question 4, what's the most anticipated release of the second half of the year? There are two. The first one is Bad Words. I don't remember who the other is, but I'll pop it up here. And that one comes out October 6th. The only thing I know about this is that it's a romance, and Emily Henry recommended it on her Instagram, and I put it in my TBR, like on Goodreads or whatever. If it's Emily Henry approved, I think I'm gonna trust that it's gonna be good. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then there's another one which wasn't really on my radar, super anticipated until I read the first book. I am really excited for The Knave in the Moon by ябᴇᴇᴜ, and that one comes out September 1st. I'm so excited. I can't wait to talk to you guys about the first book. I literally just read it this year, but I'm really looking forward to the sequel. Yeah, I'm super excited for both of these. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna talk about this. Yeah, I can't give more details than that. I don't know, because I haven't read either of these also. Question number 5 is, what's your biggest disappointment of the year so far? I'm gonna go ahead and say the Jasad Heir by Sarah Hashem. I know that there are people who really, really love this book. I've literally seen them, especially online. But my friend and I actually buddy read this kind of. Like, we read it around the same time and then we talked about it afterwards. I feel like the start was strong enough, but we didn't really get much development of the characters. That's how I felt. The main character, first of all, was super annoying and very immature for the age that she was supposed to be and like the experiences she was supposed to have. She wasn't super believable and I just wasn't really able to root for her. Also, like, I just didn't vibe with her. The love interest, which I think is, what was his name? It started with an A. It was a name that I was like, Aaron? Was it Aaron? I think it was. I think it was like Arin. The main male character also did not feel very developed at all. Like, it genuinely felt like we were supposed to fill in all the blanks for who he was. Like, he's just supposed to be like dark and broody, and we're supposed to like just use, I don't know, like a rice sand to, is it rice sand or resand? I say rice sand in my head, guys. I'm gonna keep going with that. We're supposed to like fill in the blanks with other male characters that we've read in other books for him. He did not feel at all developed. A lot of their relationship dynamic also felt like very skipped over. The pacing was just off. A lot of scenes that felt unnecessary were written out, and then a lot of scenes that felt like we needed to get more of, we didn't have enough of. So I didn't really like it. I'm not planning on reading the second one. My friend actually, I don't know if she ended up finishing it or DNFing it, but she did go into the second book and she was like, it was not a good time. So I'm not planning on going on with the series. I was really upset that it wasn't really good because like I know there's so much potential, but yeah, not good. I don't know. It just wasn't for me. It was a disappointment to me and like what I was expecting. Biggest disappointment, unfortunately. Next question is the biggest surprise of the year so far. Strangers by Belle Burden. I read this. This is a memoir by Belle Burden. Didn't know who she was before I read this book. The reason I picked it up is because a lot of people were talking about it. So I decided to pick up the audiobook because I heard that she read it herself. And I will say, like, going into it, I was like, what do I care that this like super rich lady, because all I had heard about was that like this was like a NYC, like a New York City socialite that had a lot of money and like family history. If you know, you know, which I didn't know. So in my head, I was like, why do I care if this like rich lady had a bad and messy divorce? Like, okay. And I was really actually surprised with the way that it was written, with the delivery of the audiobook, and also like I felt like it went deeper than just like the money. I've seen a lot of like split opinions on it where some people think that like the whole premise of the book is talking about how she was almost going to lose all her money, which like I never took it that way. I just took it as like she was going to lose like important houses and properties that were hers. And that was like really emotionally painful. But the thing that I took away from it more so was like the human emotional like marriage aspect of it, of like how people can like completely change and go from like being the most kind and loving and caring person to just a devil, is what I'm gonna say, is like just a horrible, horrible person. Just how people can change. And like, I don't know, I think it's interesting that a lot of people are taking the financial element of it more seriously, because why would you, like, the title is literally Strangers. Like, I think the core of the book is about how she felt like, and this is what she talks about in the book, is like she felt like this man that she's had children with and that she's been married to for years and years and years is actually a stranger to her and she doesn't know him the way she thought she did. So yeah, I thought it was interesting. A lot of people were talking about the financial aspects of it, because like while that's in the book too, I did not take it as the focus. And so like, yeah, I was very, very pleasantly surprised, because generally I don't really care about like rich people's lives and rich people's struggles. Biggest surprise, definitely Strangers by Belle Burden. I do recommend it. I just think it's interesting, and it also like can be a good reminder to like protect yourself in relationships, because people can literally switch up even years and years and years into it. Question 7. So the next question is favorite new author. Definitely Rachel Gillig. I did not like One Dark Window. Again, I listened to it as an audiobook, so maybe that's the problem, but I did not like One Dark Window. It wasn't super interesting to me. I thought the premise and like the ideas were really cool, like because in One Dark Window, not to spoiler or anything, actually this isn't a spoiler, but like in One Dark Window, like there's magic in cards and stuff, and like tarot cards almost, which I think was cool, but I don't know, the audiobook just did not hit for me. Then I read, and we're gonna talk about this more later, I'm trying not to like get ahead of myself, but then I read The Knight and the Moth, and I really, really, really liked it. I liked so much about it. The next few questions are related to that one too, like that's how much I enjoyed it. She's definitely my new favorite author. I can't wait to read the second book, and I am seriously really considering rereading One Dark Window and then reading the sequel myself, as opposed to like the audiobook, because even with The Wolf and the Woodsman by Eva Reid, like I keep wondering, like, should I reread those books? Because I know a lot of people like them, so they have to be decent, but I don't know if it's because the audiobook narrators just did such a bad job, or maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it when I listened. I don't know. Definitely new favorite author. Very excited for her next book in September. Question number 8 is new fictional crush. I'm not gonna say it's my crush, but I really like both Rory and the main character in The Knight and the Moth. Why am I forgetting names so easily? You know the reason it's so hard to remember? Because the whole time she's referred to as Six for the book, but she has a name. What's the name? Is it Jay? It was like a very generic name too, that I was like, unfortunately I'm recording with my phone, and that's how I always record, and I can't Google it. So I'm just gonna call her Six. But both Six and Rory, I just really, really liked their dynamic. I really liked their characters, and the detail that I really liked from the book is how all the diviners, including Six, including our narrator, have like something covering their eyes. I just thought that was so crazy detail to like be imagining throughout the whole book. So definitely my favorite characters. I'm not gonna say crush, because I don't know. It's been a long time since I've had a crush on a character. Anyway. And then, oh wait, the next one's also a new character though, so I'm kind of cheating. Okay, fine, whatever. The next question is new favorite characters. So I don't know why we have two different questions in fictional crush and character. I guess there's a difference, but for me there really isn't. My new favorite character though, also from Knight and the Moth, Bartholomew. Like, I love that gargoyle so much. Literally, one of the reasons this book was so fun for me, beyond the like romantasy aspects, was this gargoyle that called everybody Bartholomew. Like, I was cracking up. And you know what? I'm gonna bunch in, now that we're talking about it, I'm gonna skip a question and then I'll get back to it. But for the question that's a book that made you happy, also The Knight and the Moth, because Bartholomew was so funny. Like, he was so cute, and I just loved his dialogue. I loved his character. He was so funny. I have highlights on highlights on highlights. Another book that I really want to own, but the cover is so ugly, I refuse to buy it until they come out with a new cover. So funny. Like, the way he calls everybody Bartholomew, the way he complains about everybody like inconveniencing him. Just my favorite. So, book that made me happy, Knight and the Moth. Favorite character, Bartholomew. Fictional crushes, not really crushes, but like, I guess also characters, Rory and the main character, Six. That's what I'm gonna call her. So yeah, all of that. I'm so happy that I read The Knight and the Moth. It's actually funny to me. It's funny to me that like Knight and the Moth isn't necessarily my favorite book that I've read, even though it was the most fun. I still stand by my original choice of innamorata, but like Knight and the Moth is definitely a close second. And it's crazy too, because I heard so much about it and I delayed reading it because like with a lot of like books that do get popular on like Book Talk or Bookstagram or whatever, I'm always worried that they're actually going to be really bad. I'm really glad that I ended up just ripping the Band-Aid and reading this because it actually stands up to the hype in my opinion. So that's those 3 questions altogether. Question number 10 is a book that made me cry. None of the new books that I've read this year have really made me cry. A couple of them have maybe brought me to tears, but like I haven't really cried. But I will say I reread The Hunger Games earlier in the year, and when I get to that one part in the book, I'm not going to spoil it. I mean, it's crazy if you haven't read it yet. Really crazy if you haven't read it yet. You need to read it. There's something that happens middle end of the book that like crushes me every single time. It doesn't matter if I'm listening to the audiobook, which I listened to the like on my second or third read. I listened to the audiobook, still crushed me. Read it again myself, still crushed me. The Hunger Games. Not much to be said about it. Very much looking forward to the movie later this year as well. Now jumping forward to question number 12, most beautiful book you've bought or received. I haven't really bought any like special edition. I actually don't usually really buy special editions. I think I've bought special editions of like Game of Thrones. I don't really think I've ever, I don't really buy like special editions. I did buy this used copy of this book, which I've been really wanting to read. It's very short and I feel like I could get to it very quickly. It's like a Penguin classic, The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. I hope this isn't a cop-out or anything, but I really like this copy. I just think that it's so cute, and it's like actually a Penguin edition, but it's like their red product. Basically, it's like when these were coming out, profits from the book would go to help eliminate AIDS in Africa. And I found this at a used bookstore and I really liked it. I will say this one for this question, even though it's not like a fancy new book or anything like that. Last but not least, books that are on my TBR that I really want to get to before the end of the year. You'll see a few of them here, but I'm going to talk to you first about 2 that I don't own a copy. Well, actually, I do own a copy of Start. Where is that copy? Oh, it's down there. I'm not moving it from there. Sorry, guys. I've like used my books as decorations as well as like reminders of like you need to read more. So the first one is The Starving Saints by Caitlin Starling. I hope I wrote that right. Don't really know anything about this one either. I just know that it has something to do with medieval elements, religious elements, but like not annoying about them. Do you know what I mean? Like more questioning and like analyzing religion as opposed to just being like, oh, be religious or whatever. Not my cup of tea, those types of books. But I really like books that like play around with religion or themes of like questioning it, its effects, good or bad, blah, blah, blah. There's also Daughter of Crows by Mark Lawrence. So this is the one I was hinting at earlier when I was talking about innamorata. After I read that one, I really wanted to know if there were other books that were like dark, gothic, etc., yada, yada. And this one came up on my radar. There was actually, I think there was a Reddit forum or something that was talking about it. But basically this one, I don't know anything about it either. I just know that it's dark gothic, and on the cover that I found, I'm trying to pull it up on my Kindle. On the cover, there's like a blurb by George R.R. Martin, and he's one of my favorite authors of all time. And A Song of Ice and Fire, that series is my favorite series of all time. And so he's like written a little like blurb, I think they're called, or like a little like, this is a great book, whatever. And so I really want to read that one soon. When I was writing my list, I was like, wow, I don't really read books by men. Like, I don't think I have many books by men. Apparently not. But this one's by a man, so we'll hope that it's good. I trust women authors more than male authors, if that's okay. Oh, another book that I really want to read, which maybe I'm jumping on the bandwagon, but I honestly don't care, is East of Eden by John Steinbeck. Everybody's talking about it, and so I really want to read it and see what the hype's about. So that's another book on my TBR that I really want to get to before the end of the year. That's actually more immediately on my summer TBR. Anything else? Sorry, now I'm literally going through my whole list to see what else I downloaded. Oh, another book that I really want to read is This Is How You Lose the Time War, which I actually have a copy of here. I just bought this. The reason I want to read this one and the reason I even bought it was because I read The River Has Roots earlier this year and I really liked it. The writing was just so delicate and like beautiful. And so I was like, wow, I want to read more by Amal al-Muhtar, more by her. And so I was like, okay, everybody talks about this book all the time. So I got it and I plan to read this before the end of the year. All of these, but most importantly, Assassin's Apprentice. So a little funny thing about this one is that I thought that Robin Hobb was a guy. Okay, I don't know why in my head Robin was a male name, but like I thought the author was a man. Whatever, I wasn't like in a rush to read it. And then one of my friends on BookTube posted about it, and I read the description, like the caption, and she was talking about how like this is such a good book and whatever, and mentioned and referred to the author as she, and I was like, oh. And then I was like, wow, this actually sounds really interesting. So I also really want to read that one before the end of the year, because apparently it's like a huge series too, and I'm trying to get back into series. I'm actually reading Paladin's Grace right now. I'm almost done with it. So yeah, I think I need to get away from my prejudice against male authors. I actually don't have prejudice against male authors, okay? It's just that like there's not a lot of books by them that are enticing. Otherwise, like I love A Song of Ice and Fire, and literally George R.R. Martin is the author. And I'm also gonna read Daughter of Crows hopefully soon. Now I feel bad for saying all. No, I don't feel bad for saying that, okay? I just like women authors more, especially when they write like female characters. I think I just like stories that more so center female characters right now in this point in my life. Okay, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I hope that I wasn't super rambly. I'm trying, it's like simultaneously feels like I've done this before and I can do it, and also feels very awkward. Hopefully this wasn't like super incoherent and random. I have to go because I'm cooking. Literally, like my food is cooking on the stove and I'm so nervous that it's gonna burn. But thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you in another video very, very soon. Goodbye for now, until next time. And there will be a next time, fingers crossed. But yeah, goodbye.